but okay.
Let it be known,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Gaethje will knock out Michael Chandler.
Listen, I agree that Gaethje's going to be – the fact that it's only a 3-round fight is going to make it very interesting. It's going to make them turn it on earlier. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I could see Gaethje stopping him late. I could see Chandler hanging in there for maybe like a round, maybe late second round. But I think Chandler's never felt – he thinks he's talking about how he wants – I think Justin Gaethje's met his equal. He wants to go in there, and Chandler's a dog. Let's not get it twisted now. Chandler,
he's built for it. He's built for it.
Dog, but he's never felt this type. He's never felt this type of pressure that he's about to feel. Like Justin Gaethje, he brings a different kind of.
He's like a Peter Yan type. Yeah, he just apply the pressure and keep it on you the whole time.
But the wrestling, I think Justin Gaethje's getting in his head with the wrestling. I think Michael Chandler's going to try to wrestle him. I think he's going to have to.
But. Yeah. Justin Gaethje can wrestle also. He's a wrestler also.
He hasn't used it in the octagon in a long time, I would say. Two things, Andrew, that I wanted to respond to what you said. One, I see the flex of the watch. I don't know if you saw him. He kept doing one of these things. Let's just say that the chat caught that. That's number one.
Number if it's too shiny, you can take it off.
If this was some Richard Mille, I would be feeling good about myself. But it's not no expensive watch.
Number two, you said it's a 3-round fight. Who does that benefit?
I think that benefits Michael Chandler because it's gonna make if it's a wrestling. I could see him stealing, or if he gets Justin Gaethje down. We've never seen Justin Gaethje. I don't think we've ever seen him get taken down in the UFC. Not that I can remember, like he uses his wrestling more in the defensive way, like to keep it on his feet rather than try to take people down. But
it's there when he needs it.
Yeah, but I think this is the best wrestler that he's ever. I mean, besides Khabib, obviously Khabib got him down, and Khabib was able to finish him. But this is the best. Yeah, that's a whole different level. I think this is the best wrestler he's faced besides Khabib. So maybe we'll see if Chandler could be able to get him down or. Who knows? That's gonna be the question mark if Chandler uses the wrestling. I think if Chandler just keeps on his feet for 3 rounds, that he's gonna fold eventually. The leg kicks are gonna start adding up, and Gaethje he's a zombie. I mean, he doesn't you have to. It's gonna take 5 rounds of punishment for him to get finished, like it did with like Poirier or like Eddie Alvarez. Like he's not gonna get finished inside 3 rounds. Like that's not just like it's gonna like his best. Michael Chandler's best path to victory is just. Trying to wrestle or maybe steal one of the
get him on the ground.
Yeah, try to steal like one of the 2-3 rounds. And I could see that happening, but I doubt it. I think Gaethje's just gonna be.
Gaethje's too much for him.
Yeah,
I think Gaethje's ready for the title shot. He's about to come out here and whip Michael Chandler. He's gonna put him on his back.
So the 3 rounds benefits Gaethje for you too, Trey?
Well, he said it benefits Michael Chandler.
I think it benefits Chandler. Yeah,
gotcha. Right.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, Has Michael Chandler ever been in a 5-round fight?
Yeah, with the hook. No, the title fight was against.
Against Oliveira.
Yeah, it didn't go 5.
They didn't go 5 rounds.
They didn't go right.
Yeah, I don't know. It honestly, it's about the same for me on both ends. I think it's pretty equal on that point. I mean, they've both fought plenty of 3-round fights, and they're both going to apply the pressure quick. I know that Chandler said in his press conference that. He was putting Gaethje out round 1, so I don't see that happening. But
that would be
he's coming with that energy, so who knows?
He almost got Oliveira out of there round 1.
That was crazy.
For Oliveira to bounce back, especially he was criticized before for like kind of quitting in fights, for kind of not having that dog in him. But maybe who has a better chin, Oliveira, Gaethje? Who's more of a stylistic threat for Chandler? Is it actually Oliveira or is it Gaethje? Because I think they stand in the pocket. One thing I will say about Chandler is his chin is suspect in that sense. He gets touched cleanly, and he doesn't do well with bouncing back.
He's coming with. He has 2 different types of chin. One is a little glassy, and when one he can take a hit every now and then.
Listen, but he's gonna get touched.
Like he's definitely gonna get touched.
He's gonna get touched.
His face is gonna get painted a little bit. That's for sure.
100%. And when you fight, this is a stat that they told me about Gaethje. I didn't even realize this. He's never had a fight in the UFC that has gone to decision. Every fight has been a finish.
It's a good point.
So it's gonna be a. So 3-round. I think this is the first 3-round fight he's probably had in a while. A lot of his fights have been like main events.
Yeah.
Oh
like
yeah,
5-round fights. Yeah, like
he's been in good standing with the UFC.
Exactly. Yeah. He's gonna turn it up early. I feel like because he knows that.
So I'm gonna quickly read chat, Andrew, and I want you both of your guys' final predictions as far as like I need the round number or whether it's a split, a unanimous. And if you guys have any more insight on why, you guys could of course add why you guys feel that's gonna happen, and also let me know if you're gonna put money on it. Real quick, Steeler Nation says love Covington, Chandler, Rose, but his picks are Usman, Chandler, and Rose. Canelo by 7th round knockout. That's another topic that's gonna be really interesting to talk about. Wow. Torrin Brown says if Chandler was smart, he would wrestle Justin because on the feet he has no chance. I have something to say about that, Torrin, as far as
not no chance. He has I mean, he can. Anybody can get caught. Like anybody can get knocked out now.
I think he could use his wrestling.
No, I'm talking about Gaethje could get.
Gaethje could get. Gaethje could get clipped.
Exactly. Yeah, he could get clipped easily. But
yeah, Michael Chandler shows he can throw a punch with Dan Hooker. He absolutely rocked him. So
yeah,
absolutely. Gaethje is not as clean and as precise as Jan. Thomas, that is true, but the work that Whitman has been doing with those three people, Gaethje versus Ferguson, Gaethje looked like a completely new human being. As far as we always knew he was aggressive, but he was precise and calculated. Now it's hard not to overlook the Khabib fight because Khabib, if as easy as you could say it, he steamrolled him, right? But I don't think that has any merit or any information of how he'll do against Chandler. Khabib is Khabib. He'll get you to the ground. I don't know. I'm not sold on if Chandler could get Gaethje on the ground. And if he doesn't, maybe it'll at least help him as far as like the fatigue department. If Gaethje gets fatigued, and I think that's something Chandler could maybe possibly do that could help him. Carson says, what's up? What's up, Carson? What's up, Jason? Hey, DC. We're talking about UFC 268. Carson says, that's what I think. Chandler needs to try to make this into a grappling match to beat Gaethje. 999 says, winner of Chandler and Gaethje faces loser of Dustin versus Oliveira. Thoughts? I think they are going to be the number one contender, and they fight the winner. And then the loser fights the loser. I think that's the most logical thing to do. 999. We'll talk about that real quick. Hito with the $5 donation. He says Colby, Chandler, and Rose. Hito, I'm gonna talk about that. Where let's just say my picks are somewhat similar.
That's all dogs right there. Every pick he just said was all dogs, all underdogs.
Which is like, imagine you do a parlay on that. Now, sorry, Andrew, and I just want to make sure I caught it with the chat, Andrew and Trey. All right, guys, talk to me. Any final information that you get from these fighters as far as Gaethje and Chandler and why you're going with whoever won, and your final prediction for both of you guys.
Final prediction: Justin Gaethje wins. All right, I'm gonna make a bold prediction also. Okay. I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win by decision, and I think there's gonna be way more grappling than we wanted or expected. Standing up though, not on the ground.
From Chandler, from Gaethje, or from both?
Up against the fence, I think they're gonna trade it back and forth.
Gotcha.
I think it's gonna be a close fight. They're gonna be real in the pocket and just grappling and trading, and maybe they'll stand off a little bit. But I think there's gonna be more grappling than we want.
Do you think it's going to be a close fight or like a unanimous kind of decision for Gaethje?
I think maybe Chandler squeaks out one.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
If it is, it's probably the first round. But, yeah, I got Justin Gaethje winning by decision.
All right, so guys, remember this: when we're here Saturday live covering the fights, we're probably going to have I believe we'll have 400, 500 people here because we've been going crazy with the live fights. Trey says decision for Gaethje. We got to call him out on it. Yeah, what's up, Trey?
And let's just give a disclaimer for all this. This is all pre-weigh-in. So as long as everybody makes weight, and you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Of course.
This is kind of what. Yeah.
Of course.
Right, Drew, who you got?
My final predictions are Justin Gaethje, second round TKO.
Wow. Why is that?
I think the first round is going to be a firefight. They're going to come out. It's going to be a dog fight. I could see it going back and forth in the feet. Justin Gaethje leg kicks start to add up a little bit. Chandler could maybe take him down. I just think in that second round, it's going to start to add up a little too much, and he's going to get caught with something. Either it's going to be, I think he's going to drop him, and it's going to be he's not going to be out cold, but I could see it being like a leg kick. Like a leg kick hurts him. and then he just gets on and finishes him.
That's some serious leg kicks.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we didn't talk about. I remember he caught Khabib with a few of them. But, you know, Khabib, of course, once again, he was able to take the fight where he wanted it to. If Chandler's not able to take him down and Gaethje just starts adding up those leg kicks.
Exactly. It's different. That's what I'm saying. It'll start to add up by like the end of the second round, like maybe like 2 minutes left in the second round. I could see my final. But I'm not betting in this one, staying away from this betting wise.
What I want to say to you guys too is this is one of the cards where I feel like it's so difficult to bet on. Trust me, there have been other fights. I've been making a little money just betting on fights that I'm really confident on certain fighters to win. This is one of those that even though we all have picks, like I have my picks, it's really tough to say. It's one thing to have a pick and to say I'm betting on it. I don't think I'll bet on any of these fights at the moment for me personally. Maybe Rose versus Zhang, I have like a prediction I feel safer with. For the 15 people here, thank you guys for being here, by the way. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. If you guys are just getting here, Trey on the right, he says Gaethje by decision. I'm sorry. Maybe like a 2-1, possibly like unanimous decision. Where Drew says a second round TKO for Gaethje. Now, let me quickly say mines. After all these guys said what they said, I want to say, I don't know why. I guess I have a hunch. Chandler's mindset and his persona and just his attitude coming into this fight, I think the wrestling is going to be the deciding factor. And if he's not able to get it to the ground, he's going to have a long night. I think Gaethje's going to be a little bit more precise, be a little bit more powerful, standing up, especially with the leg kicks that could slow him down. I just believe that Chandler's going to be able to get the fight to the ground, tire out Gaethje just enough to not make him a knockout threat. You know when someone's just tired where they'll land punches, but they don't have that one-hitter quitter, even though that might never leave Gaethje until the fight finishes. I think Chandler's going to be able to get the job done by a decision, whether it's a split or unanimous. It makes me a little nervous because, I think the UFC likes both of them. What's that?
So that's why I'm staying away from it.
You don't bet this one.
It could go either way.
I can't bet on it, but if I had to bet on chat, let me know what you guys think. I think Chandler's gonna be find a way to get the fight to the ground, just kind of not dominate, but dictate the pace of the fight. Now, this could all go out the window if Gaethje starts landing some leg kicks. Chandler goes for takedown, doesn't get it. Gaethje just puts on a clinic striking-wise. I just think if Chandler's able to do so, he's going to fatigue Gaethje. I've seen Gaethje tired from wrestling, and you saw what happened with Khabib and Poirier and his previous fights.
Look like that against Khabib, though. That's the question.
What's that?
I said, who hasn't looked like that against Khabib, though?
That's true. Question. That man was tired like round one, I feel like the end of that round, because of the pace. Now, Chandler, I don't know if he could put that kind of pace, but I just think Chandler's going to be able to take it to the ground. Any responses or thoughts to that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best wrestler he's faced since Khabib, and Khabib got him down. I think he stopped the first takedown, and the second one he got down with it. He could definitely have.
All right, guys, I guess we could move on if that's okay with you guys. If y'all want to talk about the Quarantillo versus Burgos fight, maybe we could go right into Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera first, though. If you guys don't mind talking about that fight. Cheeto Vera versus Frankie Edgar. It sounds a little muffled. I don't know if it's like the placement of the mic. If you guys hear him good, let me know. But I just figured I'd tell you guys if there's anything you guys could do on your end. But bantamweight fight, Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera, Cheeto Vera. How do you guys call it?
So, here's the deal. Cheeto happens to be the first bet we'll talk about tonight that we have.
Okay, I like this. All right, let me hear it.
And not only is he our first bet that we're going to talk about, he is our main card lock of the evening.
Okay.
So, out of all the fights, this is our biggest lock.
Okay.
He's on an absolute tear. We saw what happened with Frankie last time he was out there. Cory San Hagen. Need I say more on that one? Yeah, no pun intended on that one. Yeah, Cheeto's been on an absolute tear. First person to beat Sean O'Malley and made him stupid and, hit him right in the sweet spot and stunned his leg. And would he be Aldo also recently?
No, he lost to
No, he lost to Aldo, didn't he? Yeah.
He lost to Aldo after O'Malley.
He beat Davy Grant.
He did.
Davy Grant, yep.
Yeah. Most recent fight he beat after the Aldo fight he beat.
For Vera?
Yes.
Yeah.
His last win was against Grant.
Yeah, his last one was against Grant. That's what.
Yep. Yeah, you were right.
I think Frankie's done. I think he's on the card because he's a big name and
That's New York.
Yeah, it's in New York and he's gonna be a little bit of a draw, but I think Cheeto gets it done. Cheeto's on a little tear right now. I think he can move up pretty well. Maybe go for a title run, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Cheeto's a hard fight for anybody. I mean, he's a dog. He brings it like every time, and it's just this is more of a bet. That's not saying how good Cheeto is. I just think Frankie Edgar's on like the end of his career. It's just like this is a fight that I mean he could wrestle him and win this fight. The wrestling could play a decision. He could still win out wrestling wise, but I just think Cheeto's like a better grappler than people give him credit for. Obviously they know he's a good striker. His leg kicks. That's what he beat O'Malley with. I don't care what anybody says. Finished O'Malley. His leg kick caused the nerve or whatever it was to go out and caused him to. But I just think he's gonna be a little too much for Frankie. Frankie's just on the end of kind of. I could see him maybe doing a couple more fights in UFC before he retires. He's not gonna be too longer.
He's just trying to collect a couple more paychecks and probably out of there.
You think his heart's not in it anymore? Kind of.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if his heart's not in it. I just think his body's just catching up to him. He's just,
gotcha.
Exactly.
He's been around. He's got some wear and tear, and he's a legend. Don't get me wrong, and he has his past, but
it used to be that he was that guy that was a tough guy that never got knocked out and was always just a dog, and then he got knocked out by Ortega, and then he got knocked out by San Hagen, and those were both like
first round TKO, flying knee.
Flying knee.
I'm not gonna say that Vera's gonna like knock him out on some one punch knockout, but I mean, Frankie's chin isn't what it be. Like he could lift with something way easy, but he used to.
Okay, and that's a bantamweight fight where he's ranked number 13, where Frankie Edgar is ranked number 8. Now, let's say he steamrolls Edgar, hypothetically. I think it's unanimous. I have Cheeto Vera winning as well. I think he's a very dominant fighter that could make a run. That's a very competitive division with Dillashaw coming back. San Hagen, he lost to Piotr Jan, but San Hagen looks dangerous. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If he steamrolls Edgar, right, Frankie Edgar, where does he go from here? Who do you think he should get next? Remember, he lost to Aldo, but how do you think he fares with let's say the top 5 in the bantamweight division?
Honestly,
I think they
wouldn't mind seeing him fight Cory, to be honest.
You don't mind seeing him fight who?
Cory San Hagen.
I don't think that San Hagen would take that fight.
He probably wouldn't because he's definitely on a higher level, and I mean, after the performance he just put up against Jan, his stock went up for me. I don't care if he lost. I mean,
I think he could win another fight. I think he could win another fight and almost find himself at another title shot or something, or one or two.
Maybe after big boy's cornball freaking Aljo gets his title stripped from her, maybe Cheeto can go whoop up on him because I can't stand it.
Is Marlon Vera still a bantamweight?
Yeah, he is.
He just lost, right? He just lost to somebody, right?
Vera?
I think didn't he just lose recently?
He lost to Jose, but then he beat he beat Davy Grant, and now he finds himself fighting Frankie Edgar.
I think Marlon Vera or somebody.
He is Marlon Vera. That's what he's asking. Who would Marlon Vera fight next if he fight?
Oh. No, not Marlon Vera. I'm talking about.
Oh, Moraes.
Oh, sorry, my fault. Yeah, I meant to say Marlon Moraes. Yeah, I can see him fighting Marlon Moraes.
Well, he's on a 3-fight losing streak where he lost to Marab versus Font versus San Hagen. He's still ranked number right here. He's ranked number 10. That might not be a bad one for him, actually.
Yeah.
That might be his best option right now because I don't know if there's a Cody.
That's a fight up. Like
if he beats Frankie pretty viciously, I think he shoots up the rankings.
Cody would be a good fight. Him versus Cody Garbrandt.
Cody, but Cody went down the flyweight Right? Is he still doing that or what?
He's still ranked number 7th in the bantamweight division as we speak. So, that might be another good one. Real quick to catch up with chat. Zelmay's in the building. What's up, Zelmay? Hito says Edgar is too old. Torrin Brown says, I honestly don't care about that fight between Cheeto Vera versus Frankie. But anyways, I got Vera beating Edgar. I have it the same way, Brown.
A lot of people I know who are betting this fight are bet Cheeto as well.
Carson says that Cheeto versus Edgar, I think they were talking about. Yeah, well, they wanted to schedule Edgar versus O'Malley. O'Malley didn't take it because taxes were too high in New York, and he also had a hand injury. So he passed up on it, which is funny because he's the one that lost to Cheeto Vera, and then now Cheeto takes it. Imagine on Madison Square Garden, we could quickly diverge into that topic. I believe Trey is a Sean O'Malley fan. So let me just play devil's advocate. I think Sean O'Malley made a mistake not taking this fight on the biggest platform as far as like in the biggest and most like important arena in like fight sports history in Madison Square. For him not to take it, was that a huge mistake, Trey, or is it all calculated?
No, I think he has nothing to lose. I think that Sean's explained this plenty of times. He's on the same contract he's basically been on since he's been in the UFC. Right. It's not paying as much. It doesn't matter if he fights for the championship belt or if he fights a nobody. He's getting paid the same. So why is he wasting his health and going through all this training and put wear and tear on his body when he doesn't have to? No, he's going to wait. Don't get me wrong. He's going to get a bigger fight. And did they not? They were talking about one. I don't think they ever made it official. But he's going to eventually take a bigger fight. I do think so, but it's going to win when he gets on a bigger contract. And then I think he'll start fighting some top dogs, and then you'll really see what he is.
Trey, I'll be honest. Before I was playing devil's advocate, and I say that because at first I thought that. I thought, you know what, he's stupid and not take this Edgar fight. This is one of his big fights. He takes it. But he is on a contract. After thinking about it for a while, he is on a contract where he gets paid the same no matter what. He is fighting Paiva up next. And Paiva looked pretty good against Kyler Phillips.
They confirmed that, right? They confirmed that?
Yes, they did confirm that. And Paiva's a good fighter. This is not going to be a cake.
I would rather fight Edgar on a pay cut than take Paiva in like December. That's the only way I'm like, damn, like, I don't know if he didn't see the Paiva fight or something. Paiva took some of Kyler Phillips' best punches. He was almost out.
Exactly. He 100%. I mean, he probably watched it and just playing like he didn't watch it, but he knows who he is after that fight with Kyler Phillips. 100%.
I think that's more dangerous than Edgar as far as like, you lose to Edgar, it's okay. You lose to Edgar, it's okay.
You're a freaking legend, and you're in New York and all, whatever. But yeah, losing to Paiva would definitely hurt his stock a little bit. But Paiva is a dog, and he's shown that, and he's good on the ground too, and Brazilian for you.
999 asked a great question that I want to present to you guys because we could kind of feed off back and forth as we still give our picks. But he said Cheeto Vera versus Dillashaw. What are you guys' thoughts? Or even Garbrandt. How do you think he fares against them?
I just think Dillashaw is a little bit higher than that. After he beat Cory, I don't know why he would fight for anything less than a contender fight or the title. So
that's a good point.
But if they were to fight, I think Dillashaw would win. I think
Dillashaw would definitely win, but I just don't. It just doesn't. It's not a fight that makes sense to me. But if they were to fight, Dillashaw is probably going to put a whooping on.
I think Vera should take his time too. I think Dillashaw has certain intangibles that are still. I don't know. Right now, Dillashaw might beat Aljo. I think Petr Yan is the one guy that I'm like, damn, I don't know who beats him right now. It was a debatable against Cory San Hagen. I had Dillashaw winning, which is not that popular, but I had Dillashaw beating Cory. You did?
I don't know. I had Dillashaw in that fight and I won, so I was obviously.
Yeah.
I think he just controlled the control is what wanted him to fight.
Yeah. There was a lot of dispute against that, but I feel the same way, Andrew. I think the ground control, when the significant strikes are so close in numbers, let's say Cory landed 5 more punches, 10 more punches per round, hypothetically. I forget what the exact numbers were. But when it comes to the takedowns, yes, he didn't get a lot of them, but at the end of the day, he got a lot of ground control in that fight. And I count it.
He was the underdog coming into that fight, too.
He was, right? What was he, like a plus?
plus 145, I think, or like 135 or something. It wasn't a big one, but it was an underdog.
Carson says, if Vera wins, I wouldn't mind Vera versus Merab. Guys, if you're just getting here, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Also, we're gonna soon talk about Usman versus Covington and Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. This was a good kind of like detour as far as like Cheeto Vera. He is in an interesting spot in his career. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the the Cheeto Vera fight versus Frankie Edgar? Any thoughts?
Cheeto Vera, our main card lock. We think he's gonna win. I would bet him if you're gonna bet this fight, 100%.
He's got to lay a little chalk. He's minus 170 favorite, but I think it's worth it. I think there's still value in that. I think he should be on the early 200.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Frankie Edgar's just done with. I mean, this is gonna be if Frankie Edgar comes out, wins his fight, and looks good. This could be like a turnaround moment for his career, like to get back in the right direction. But
we'll save him.
Yeah, if he loses this fight, it's gonna be not gonna be long before he tires up. A couple more fights. That's the direction I see him going in. Just after the beating, I think his body just kept up with him. All the beatings.
It's a meaningful fight for him for sure. I agree, Andrew. Because he has that's one thing. He has a name. You know how the UFC feels about you having a name. Weili Zhang, she probably doesn't deserve the Rose Namajunas fight after getting knocked out round 1, but she has a country behind her. Whereas Esparza probably should have got that fight, but Frankie Edgar has a name. Let's say he puts on a dominant performance, wins another one after this one. He could quickly find himself up there. I agree. I 100% agree. Let me quickly catch up with. If Vera wins, I wouldn't mind Vera versus Merab. That's not a bad one either, Carson. Marlon versus Garbrandt thoughts. That's an interesting one too, where I would probably still have a Cheeto winning that. Who wins, Prime, TJ, or Jan? Let's quickly answer this before we get to the co-main and the main event, if you guys don't mind. Prime, TJ, or Jan? What I will quickly say is, I think Dillashaw is kind of in his prime right now. I think we're gonna see like a good version of Dillashaw. I think it's still his prime.
Post PEDs.
This is prime.
You talking about prime PEDs?
Yeah.
How do you have it, Trey?
I'm gonna have to say. Oh man, that's a really good question.
That's a good question. Thank you for that question, 999. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Thank you guys for being here. Piotr, I'll have my thoughts, but I want to wait for these gentlemen. I want to see what they say.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh man, gosh, TJ Dillashaw is absolute dog, and I mean he's in the prime right now. Really, I think but here's the thing: I think if him and Jan fought right now, I got Jan winning. Okay. I think he would be favored at the end of the fight also. So
why do you have him winning? Do you think Dillashaw needs more time, or do you think Jan is just a better fighter all around?
I think he would have Dillashaw backing up, and then once he has him backing up, that's when Piotr just goes to work, and he's just a completely different breed, and he's shown he can take some hits. He can get popped in the mouth, and he'll keep walking forward and walking you down. So I'm not too worried about his chin. I think he's got the stamina to keep up with TJ, because TJ has the stamina too. But right. If they were to fight right now, and I think TJ is in his prime, or at least maybe on the backside of it, I got Jan 100%. I would have to take him.
Jan 100%. How do you have it, Andrew?
I would agree. I would say Prime TJ. Just because Prime TJ just didn't have the same competition that they're now around. There was no Jan back. Like Jan would have been just in Prime TJ. Because Renan Barão was the all-time great when TJ knocked him off. And Renan Barão after that spiraled. Fell out.
Good point.
I mean, like, it's just the competition's a different level now. It's just Jan is like if Prime TJ was what the competition was, they're the peaks here now, and Jan is. I feel like.
Cejudo, Jan, who do you guys have?
Oh my God! That's a whole lot tougher.
Just to go down a little rabbit hole with you guys. Right. Just.
I'm saying Cejudo over almost anybody. I love him.
He's the biggest Henry fan that I know, probably. So
the wrestling is different. It is different. That's a gold medalist.
Jan impressed me with his scrambling this past weekend.
Yeah, he did look good.
But Cejudo's different.
him down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not Henry trying to get him.
Right.
Yeah, I think I have to go with Henry too. I don't know. You can't bet against Henry. He's an absolute.
But Jan could knock him out. Jan has.
Jan,
if it stays standing up, then I got Jan.
But no one can mix it up as good as Henry can.
Yeah.
The best
good point. Henry has power in his hands too.
Yeah, he knocked TJ out.
Yep.
I don't care. He caught him a couple times, tried to get back up and sat him right back down.
I will say Jan is becoming, surprisingly, I'm so surprised that he's becoming one of my favorite fighters to watch. As far as just the way he carries himself in the octagon, where like no matter what lands, he doesn't show any emotion, but he's also like hyper aggressive, but he also picks his spots. He's very patient in the beginning, where like, you know, Cory looked great in that first round, and then Jan, little by little, it's almost like
he's just reading them.
It's almost like yeah, I'm sorry.
I was just saying he's just making reads, just reading them the whole fight.
It's almost like, let's say you're up 10 in a basketball game, and now in the last minute or the last 3 minutes, like you're scoring 2 points. You're scoring, but that other team just keeps knocking down a three. Like Jan just keeps like hitting you with something bigger than you hit him with. You know you're losing the round. I know Cory knew he was losing those later rounds. It was just really interesting to see just him take over the fight in every aspect, in my opinion. Yeah. Can he do that against Cejudo? Like, I don't know if you could start off that slow against someone like Cejudo, you know, or even someone like Dillashaw, maybe. I don't know. Like, I would question Dillashaw's chin, where maybe that's where I would favorite Jan. He is one of my favorite fighters to watch right now, but that was a great question, 999. Like, thank you for that. JT says TJ and Jan will be a close fight. I agree. I will only be fearful of Dillashaw's chin, in my opinion, where Jan is going to find that left straight down the middle. And when that lands, I don't know how Dillashaw will act. By the way, who has the thickest thighs in UFC? I think Volkanovski. Volkanovski's up there, 999. Jan getting TJ out in 2. I'm not mad at that, Gambles. Bones Daily in the stream. What's up, brother? What's up, Bones? Welcome to the stream. Do you guys care to talk about Quarantillo versus Burgos, or do you guys want to go right into Namajunas, Weili Zhang, however you guys want to call it?
It's up to you. I'm down to skip. We don't have any money on it.
Yeah, we stayed away from that fight.
We stayed away from it because it's just we can skip it or we can talk about it.
To the co-main event, Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. Trey, you have the floor, sir. How do you call it?
Here we go.
Mm-hmm. This is interesting because I have no idea what he's going to say, but I have who I think is going to win. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love Rose, okay? She is the epitome of a fighter, okay? She's
Sounds like there's a butt coming.
She's incredible. She's got a great story. You know, she does her little chant and everything, and she had a good fight against Zhang, and she caught her out. Zhang was knocked out. She stood up, and she was like, holding on to the referee and everything. She was arguing, but she was
gone. She was gone. Mm-hmm.
But
okay, here it is.
Zhang Weili, when she lost that title, she went rampant, and she even cut her hair, and she's in a whole different mental state. I think she's going to have way too much pressure for Rose. I think she's going to come out swinging. I think it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be nice and scrappy. We have a few bets on this, which we will get into.
Okay.
I think Zhang will win this fight by decision.
Interesting. Zhang by decision. Wow. That's a title fight, too.
It is.
That's a 5-round fight. You have it going to the scorecards.
Yes. So we're sprinkling a little bit on that. We're sprinkling a little bit on the decision. It's plus 160. That is one of our bets that we have.
I like that. Okay.
We have Zhang straight up to win.
Okay.
And over 4.5.
For the entire fight.
So that's 4.5 rounds.
If it goes over that,
we have it going all the way to decision.
So you're placing 2 bets. If you guys could explain that to me real quick, and for anybody else in the chat, so you have 2 bets on this, right? Have her winning by decision and going over 4.5, correct?
Yes. So we have a total of the whole fight go over 4.5 rounds.
Right.
That's one of our bets, and then our other bet is Weili Zhang by decision.
Okay.
But we sprinkled a little bit on that one. We didn't bet as
It's a plus bet. It's plus 160, so you just sprinkle it just to get something good.
Over total for the entire fight, no matter who wins. The fight goes over 4.5 rounds.
Okay. And you feel confident about that, Trey?
Which means to win that bet, the fight will be in the 5th round and have to be over to
229. It has to 229. It has to hit 229 in round 5.
Yep. Yes. So we're riding over all the way. We like Zhang by decision. I think the pressure is going to be too much. But I think Rose is an absolute dog, and she can hang in there, and she's going to be coming back too. Zhang might be a little hesitant at first.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to end up taking over and just going to keep winning the round.
Let me diverge real quick. Carson says this is a dream fight. Jan versus Davison Figueiredo at bantamweight. That's an interesting one. He has to get past Moreno first. Well, I'll make sure we touch on that later on the podcast because we've been live for 47 minutes. I want to keep it around an hour 10, if so, max, or just for replay value. So I'll make sure I catch up with that. JT says Jan would beat Henry. He's got way more tools. Heavy striking isn't even close to Jan. JT, that's an interesting one where we're going to have to do another podcast and talk about all these subjects as well, too. Because I might disagree with you a little bit there, JT. 999 says first round KO. Lil Wayne comes in and drops Zhang with some bars. Zhang wins by ground and pound, JT says. Interesting. I honestly thought more people were going to have Rose coming into this fight. And Wheat Gamble says that ain't going 5 rounds. So it's a silly bet. Is that what you're saying, Gambles? What's up, Jason? Thank you for still being here. All right, Andrew, let me know. How do you have it?
I have the same thing Trey had. We have the same bets on this one. So we have I have Weili Zhang as well. But I could see her winning inside the distance, but I think it's gonna go to this well, and she's gonna I think it could be 3-2. I could see Rose taking it to the ground, making it a good fight. Rose could sneak a submission in there. Like Rose is slick off her back and on the ground, but I think Weili's just gonna be too much for her this time, and she's gonna make it a trilogy fight, 100%, get all the money out of it. And
he has a whole country behind her.
Trilogy fight would be exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be. I see her pulling this one. I see her pulling this one out and making.
And then I believe there's a stat that it's like the past. If there is a trilogy, the past I think like 9 people or 10 people to win. The second one are like 8-1 or 9-1 in the trilogy. Yeah. So if Zhang wins this belt and they go for a trilogy, go ahead and hammer Zhang again. Because I
can see it being not as crazy, but more of like a Weili versus like Joanna type fight, but obviously not as crazy. Because that was one of the craziest.
Yeah, that's one of the best fights of all time.
Yeah, but I could see it going how that fight went, because Rose and Joanna have they're both very good strikers. Like able to stand up there with, but Rose is obviously right now best, and she knocked her out the first time. So we're gonna see adjustments she makes. But and you know who she brought in? Weili brought Henry into.
Henry was working with her.
So that's another. That's
going on the tape with her.
As big of a fan of Henry I am, I think that's gonna play a decision too. He's gonna do a lot of stuff to be able to deal with Rose. I can see. I sprinkle a little something on by decision.
It's actually funny. I was feeling Rose the whole time. And then we saw that Henry was helping her, and I looked at Drew and I said, I absolutely love that. I'm going with Zhang now. We went with Zhang.
You guys hit the nail on the head where Trey and Andrew, both of you guys, because basically said the same thing. I was edging Rose to knock out someone in the first round just like that. You just have to be the favorite, or I would lean more towards you. But I do. It's kind of tough to say because I wonder who disagrees with us. But I do put a lot of weight into Henry helping Weili. I for some reason I do think he's gonna get her to at least fight her kind of fight, and the fight's gonna go way different. And we saw her go 5 against Joanna. That was a 5-round fight, right? Yep. That was like my favorite, like 5. So we know she has a gas tank. We know she could take shots. Yes, she got knocked out. Got her light put out basically against Rose, but we know she can take a punch, so to speak, like she did against Joanna. She just got head kicked, got hit in the right spot. It was over. If it does go the distance, I feel like I would go Weili as well too, where like I was leaning towards Rose before here. I was going to say Rose, but you guys might have convinced me a little bit where I'm just thinking, look, Henry's in the corner. look, you can say what you want about how important someone is in someone's corner. You might say, oh, well, that person can't get in the octagon for them. We see how Trevor Whitman completely changed Gaethje. We see how Whitman actually gave Usman a striking game, a deadly one. I think the person in the corner plays a big part. And Henry just, maybe helping her not get caught with a big kick, maybe closing the distance. And if she takes that fight to the ground, it might be a little trouble. So,
exactly. And then I think she is going to land a few takedowns, but Rose is slick off her back. But I think she go to control her, just
right,
like you said, learn what Henry taught her, just put in the work on some ground and pound and build out of this.
All right, you guys heard it here from Trey and Andrew, who they have. Real quick, Carson says Henry has an amazing IQ in MMA. Absolutely agree, Carson, and that might be a deciding factor. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the best. Just agreeing with you.
Absolutely. Ask Trey and Andrew how long they've been dating here. Thomas, all jokes aside, this fight ends in KO in the third round. You guys are cousins, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Thomas just always fooling. Carson says, is Henry going to be in Zhang's? Is he going to be in the corner?
I'm not sure if he's going to be in the corner exactly. I just know he's been in her camp, helping her out, helping her work and stuff. So possibly. If he's been that active and stuff, there's a strong possibility. It could be it happens all the time.
Maybe not just because of the language barrier.
Makes sense.
We'll have to translate this.
But, I mean, we'll see.
Great point, Andrew. Great point. Yeah. That completely, would have went over my head. So, yeah, I mean, but just helping her enough. That's a good point. Is Henry going to be in Zhang's corner? So, it appears Carson probably not. That's something to look into. JT says Weili's head movement will be way better, too. Yeah, she got caught square with a head kick, and you can't get caught with one of those in a big fight. One thing I didn't like about Weili Zhang real quick, and then right after this, we'll get to the main event, guys. So, keep it locked. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. One thing that made me a little worried for Weili is it looked like the pressure got to her against Rose, where in a big stage like Madison Square Garden, I am a little timid of how she reacts to that because she did give a lot of excuses of why she lost. One thing I could appreciate about a competitor is like not accepting a loss. Say what you want about O'Malley and Conor with their whole leg breaks. Winners, when they do lose and when you start to accept it too easily, that's when I think it could get a little dangerous, right? So she had a lot of excuses to say she'll win the second fight, though. So, any final thoughts on that before we move on to the main event, Trey and Andrew?
Nope, we were good. We covered it. We can go ahead and move on to the big main event.
They have Gaethje, Vera, and Weili, correct?
Correct.
Okay, the main event, Camaro Usman versus Colby Covington. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this because I really want to share mine. I almost can't hold it. Before I say that, 999 says Adesanya versus Prime, Michael Bisping. Who wins? Probably Adesanya, in my opinion, 999. Ask them if Cejudo beats Volkanovski. That would be the best fight to make. Real quick, give me a winner, just a name between Cejudo and Volkanovski, and then we'll get right into the main event.
Cejudo.
Okay, main event. Colby Covington, Camaro Usman. Call it for me, guys. I can't wait. Call it.
Listen, I'm literally.
Yes. I already know.
We can disagree on this one. We'll start with.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good.
I'm so torn. I am. Drew also. We're the biggest Colby Covington fans. We absolutely love him. He's the funniest freaking cat in the world. He was going at every reporter that came up to say in the conference.
Did you guys see it?
He told John Morgan to do 10 push-ups.
Yeah, he said do 10 push-ups if you want to respond.
I saw that, the guy from MMA Junkie, and then he told the one guy, your suit looks like a Pepto-Bismol. You saw, like...
out the mouth.
Yeah.
Right. He was going in on all of them. We absolutely love Colby, and I pray on everything that he wins.
I love him for his fighting style. He just don't.
Yeah, he don't get tired. He's after the dog. He can take punches or get after it. But I can't go against my word. I'm pretty sure I've told you this. I've told Drew this probably 100 times. I think Marlo is going to go down as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in his division. I know it's unpopular. I know there's GSP. I know all this. But I cannot choose Colby if I if I say that, I just he's gonna go down as the greatest fighter in his division.
Trey, I have to ask you though. If you say that, just hear me out. So you mean to tell me that Colby, there's no merit when he says, "Oh, this guy has beaten lightweights and journeymen." So you give him full credit for the opponents he has beaten. Because look, I hate to say this because like I think Colby has somewhat of a point. No disrespect to Usman, I think he's that dominant. But Gilbert Burns looks a little bit small. I'm not gonna lie, he is a natural lightweight. So you have him as going down as one of the best pound for pound. So that means Colby is just exaggerating in that, or like talk to me. Like, how do you call it?
No, Colby's not exaggerating. I mean, everything Colby says usually has value to it. He doesn't just say it just to say it. Okay. But I don't know why. I just have this gut feeling with Trevor Whitman working with him now. Like, it's just it's a whole nother level. Just look at Trevor's roster. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I think he's got the best coaching in the world, probably. And he's already got the skill. He's got the size. I know people hate on his pass, and I get that. That's fine, whatever.
Right.
You know, he's not going to beat the top competitor every single fight. It doesn't work like that. But now that he has the belt, they can't say anything. He's defending now. Okay.
That's true. He is, and he's lapping.
Now he's defending. Okay. Yeah. It's not going for no title run or anything. So I think he's just going to keep the streak going. I don't see him losing for a while. I don't know who could beat him right now, really. I'm not really sure.
Colby can beat
him.
Yeah. The way he said it.
Please, let it be Colby. Yeah. Please let it be Colby if it's anybody. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it. Drew can tell you about Colby. I love him, too. I hate saying this because I'm a huge fan of Colby. But I have to go with Camaro.
Andrew, before you give me your pick real quick, because I'm dying to hear, let me just quickly read. Carson says, I think Camaro knocks out Colby in 3rd or 4th round. So he basically agrees with Trey. JT says, I picked Usman to win, but I think Covington wins by TKO. Interesting, JT. Tell me why you think that happens, JT. 999 says, I think Usman is going to get on more grappling than Colby and force Colby to strike and KO. If he's not able to take the fight to the ground or wrestle, I think he's going to have a tough time. 999. Carson says, I know this might be going off board a bit, but say if Colby wins, do they do Colby versus Camaro 3 and skip Leon if he wins the Masvidal fight, or even Luque? That'll be the very next question we talk about after Andrew answers, because that is a thought that I had as well, Carson. That's a great question, where I think Leon deserves it, but how do you not do Colby Camaro 3? So we'll talk about that shortly. Andrew, talk to me, man.
You gotta do Camaro Colby 3. Colby gets it. That's one of the main reasons I think Colby's going to win. That trilogy be one of the biggest fights in welterweight division history. But Colby, so let's start with Colby. Let's start this boy, Colby.
I have Chandler winning, Steeler.
That boy, I think he's going to win by TKO, but I don't think it's going to be till like maybe 5th, 4th round. I agree with the guy in the chat that said that. I just think I've seen all his training videos. He's working grappling. He's working wrestling. He's working a lot of stuff like that. Maybe that's just for show, making him think he's going to take him to the ground. But I think Usman's definitely going to attempt to wrestle or attempt to take him down. But Colby's wrestling is different. I just think his cardio is catch up to Usman this time, and just maybe just because his cardio is why I love him so much. He has to me, him, Nate Diaz is the 2 goats of the cardio, like the 2 best I've ever seen.
Right? Yeah.
He just doesn't get tired, and he'll put that pressure on you where he'll just throw clearly like 500 punches on you. And if Usman can get to the ground and control him, then it's going to be a long night for Colby. But if he can stop the takedowns and keep it on the feet, then I could see him just breaking Usman eventually, maybe 5th round stoppage, late 4th round.
Wow.
I could see it being a crazy moment, something crazy like that happened. But I stayed away from this fight betting wise.
Absolutely.
The
lines are too big to bet Usman if you think he's going to win. And Colby, I think Colby should be a bigger underdog than what he is. So I just stayed away from it.
Yeah, he's only plus 235 right now, and they got Camaro at
if you're fighting
at minus 315.
If you're fighting against the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, it should have more value as on.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Andrew.
That's what I'm saying. Because he is. Camaro Usman right now is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. So there should be way more money in
and he'll go down his history as the number 1 pound for pound fighter in his division.
Which defends Trey's point that he deserves like that kind of credibility as far as to beat Colby and should be the favorite in a sense.
I just think the worst. Kamaru Usman right now is no doubt the best fighter in the UFC. I think like the most dominant champion right now. But if somebody were to beat him, Colby's the worst stylistic matchup for him. A good wrestler that has better cardio than him. If Usman beats him, it's going to be a wrestling clinic or it's going to be a one-punch knockout. If it's anything other than that, it's going to be a long night for him. I think the volume will catch up to him. Won't be able to put it.
Does have a crazy pace. Crazy. If
volume. I hope Colby does it, man.
If he gets past Covington, I don't want to see Burns again. I think he beats Edwards. I don't even care for that fight too much. I hate to say it because Edwards is on such a long streak. Luque, I'm not really interested in that much. Like, if somebody's gonna beat Usman, yes, let it be Colby. I agree, man. Like, it's just like the storyline. Yeah, oh, okay. So you heard the nicknames that Chimaev is on a rise where, look, I feel bad, but look, at the end of the day, if I think like a businessman, let's say Colby loses. Yeah, you got to give Edwards that fight. I would say, okay, give it. But the next guy has to be like Chimaev almost. Just because excitement-wise and pay-per-view wise, don't give him Neil Magny. Like, I don't really care for that much. But that might sound like blasphemous to people, like, oh, but Leon Edwards is a real threat. I'm just saying for like spectator-wise, if you want a casual to buy the fight. All right, Colby Covington versus Usman. I'll give my pick, and then I'll hear the final predictions from Trey and Andrew. And who should Usman fight next if he wins, and who should Colby fight next if he wins? We'll ask him that too. I'm going to go with my gut here as well too. I'm going Chandler. These guys might have swayed me with Weili. I almost feel like I want to go Weili right now, but I might go Chandler, Weili. And as far as this fight, Colby can't have a 5-round striking match again against Usman, because Usman, I think the determining factor if Usman wins is going to be the power. Yeah, Colby's going to land as much, maybe. Usman lands a lot more, but when Usman lands, you're going to hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. On the scorecards, it's going to be hard for Covington to win, because there's a saying, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Even though that's not necessarily true, it is in a sense of that could play on the mind of the judges, right? I think Colby has to take it to the ground. I think he has to do something different, and I think he's going to be able to do it. I think he's going to have the fortitude, and just if he could just take an ounce of energy out of Usman, I think he started dictating the pace. Of course, Usman is not Robbie Lawler, right? He's not RDA, but to keep up that pace, it's all whether he gets Usman to the ground, and then Usman, if he has to work his way back up, that takes energy out of you. Colby's no dummy. He's going to hold him down there, not going to go for a quick submission. He's going to try to tire him out. I have a feeling Covington, and the whole nut shot thing, look, maybe Colby sold me well, but I think there was a lot of stoppages. If those things don't happen, we might be having a different conversation right now. And for that reason,
I agree 100%.
You talk about taking energy out of him and everything. He did that in the first fight. He popped him a couple times and had Usman like shook.
And it's one thing. I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, the eye poke was legit, but the eye poke I kind of saw. The nut shot, I don't think it hit his cup at all. Like I think that was he just like he wanted to break it out. He was starting to well a little bit. You could see that pressure was starting to get to him a little bit, and then the cup shot thing was just a big controversy. I mean,
I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree, and I think the reason why I brought that up is because it's one thing. Let's say you reverse the roles, right? Then it wouldn't matter as much. But Colby's whole style of fighting is based on that pace. That's how he wins, because people call him boring because he kind of tires you out. He banks on that. You can't really take that away from him if that's what he banks on, unless he does poke you in the eye. Yes, but the whole cup shot thing, I don't think that necessarily happened. And for that reason, I think if the ref stays out of it, so to speak, as long as there's no injuries or no timeouts, I think Colby's pace is gonna get it done. I like if I had a gun to my head and had to pick the fight, I'm going Colby Covington. I'm going Colby Covington.
I agree with you, Miller. I love it.
Yeah.
We're fading Trey in this one.
Yeah, fade me. Please, Lord, let Colby win. That would be amazing.
Usman deciding factor, I think, is going to be that power, though, man. Even though I'm saying this, I can see Usman knocking him out in the third round with a clean right hand.
In the first round or something crazy like that happening, because his power has been looking different his past couple fights. 100%.
Absolutely.
He knocked Gilbert Burns out with a jab.
Not even that.
He dropped him with a jab, and then he knocked out
Street Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got the life out of him. I saw a whole freaking sweat rain just.
That was crazy. That slow-mo was nuts.
Yeah, that's what I said. That picture and that slow-mo was one of the craziest pictures ever.
All right, real quickly, I want to ask you guys. We could answer Carson's question, and we'll talk a bit more, and then get out of here. I'm gonna try to finish this in about 5 to 10 minutes, guys. So thank you guys for being here. I just want to cover it real quickly. If Camaro beats Colby, who does he get next? And if Colby beats Camaro, who does he get next? If you guys could call it for me, because I have my thoughts on that as well, but I would like to hear from you guys. If you guys haven't already, hit the thumbs up. Here with Andrew and Trey, we've been, honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. This is probably have been one of my most fun podcasts, like enjoyable for me, for my liking. So I think we need to do this a lot more, because I've had a blast going back. This hour flew by, and I know it's gonna have replay value, and that's what makes me happy. But all right, let's first start with if Colby and Camaro fight Saturday. If Colby gets past Camaro Usman, does the trilogy happen, or does something else happen? Call it for me, guys.
100%, 1,000%. There's nothing else to even say. A trilogy will happen if Colby Covington wins.
Yeah, 100%.
No, Dana will say that night. Yeah, there's going to be another fight. He'll say it in the post press conference.
Dana will say it. You said.
Yeah, 100%. They'll ask him, and Dana will say, "Yeah, there's probably going to be a trilogy." I'll get to talking to you.
It just goes back to the number one pound for pound thing. If you're the number one pound for pound fighter in the world and you lose, you're going to get it. No matter what. He's defended the belt enough times, and he's already beat him once before. So if he wins, they'll have to. They have to give it.
It might even be like a clause in their contract.
Probably. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do that if you're Usman. So that's a good point, Trey. Like, he might want that back immediately. Ryan says Colby all day. I'm consistent. Usman a tank. I agree, Zelme. Been saying it for 3 years. You've been right. I remember, Zelme, when you said it from the jump. So they believe that Colby Usman 3 will happen if Colby wins. Now, if Camaro wins, what do you guys think is the next step for him?
That's where it gets tough. It's just he's beat everybody.
I don't even know. I have no idea. It would be just a big fight, maybe. I don't know.
It's got to be the winner of Leon and.
I was going to say that.
They got to give him. And I feel like the UFC is banking on Leon winning that fight, so they don't have to do the Masvidal Usman 3, because he's already beat him twice. You know what I
don't know if they do Masvidal again, Andrew. Do you think they'll do that again?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think they're banking on Leon to win that fight, because if Masvidal beats Leon somehow, I think Leon will win that fight. But if Masvidal wins, then now the UFC's in a tough spot. Maybe you do Colby versus Masvidal. If they both lose, I don't know what Usman does at that point, because he beat everybody.
I'm not mad at that. Colby and Masvidal, if they both lose.
Yeah. He would just be sitting on the title waiting for something nice to pop up.
He said, did you see what he said in the interview where he said the price was right, he'd fight Izzy?
I did see that. Like, if they offer me hundreds of millions of dollars or something like that.
Hundreds of millions or something like that, yeah.
He's not getting offered hundreds of millions of dollars, I'll tell you that.
I don't think it would have to be that much for him to take it. I think he would. If he's saying that, I think he would fight him.
Are you guys excited for that if it happens, though?
I don't think they would ever do it. They're just talking. I don't think that would ever happen. I'm not holding any weight.
No hands have been on the line, so I don't. Good on that.
See, I wouldn't care too much about that. I think if Usman wins, he has to see Leon Edwards if Leon wins. If Leon doesn't win, maybe throw Chimaev in there. I don't know. Like, but who else is exciting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd be fine with that. He's more unknown because no one has even gave him a good fight right now. We still don't even know what he really is yet.
We don't know his ceiling, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We still don't even know what he is yet. He could be even better than what we think he is. Just ran through everybody. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Gamble says different weight class if he wins. He should move up a weight, maybe. The problem with that.
That would be Izzy,
yeah, that would be Izzy.
That would be Izzy then. That's the only problem. And when you're a champion and you've been defending so many times, that's why you would get Adesanya probably immediately if Adesanya gets past Whitaker, because I don't want to see Adesanya Vettori again. Or, like, I don't really care about Brunson that much either, even though Brunson has been on a tear, so maybe. So it's one of those things where like there's a lot of competition, but I feel like there's a lot more fights you can make in the lightweight division. I feel the welterweight division could start getting pretty stagnant because Usman is already lapping these guys, so to speak. Where there's not that much excitement if Usman wins because he beat Burns, then he beat Covington, he beat Masvidal, like maybe Luque or Leon Edwards, like we said before. But at the same time, it's like,
Could just be sitting on the title for a little bit, I think. So something fun pops up, something interesting. But listen, I'm on 40% on my computer. I want to say a couple things before.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
We have some pick or two left that we haven't said. Okay,
yeah.
These are on the undercard. They're not on the main card. I'm about to throw it off a little bit, but one of our picks is Phil Hall's under 2.5 for his fight.
Yeah,
he's the absolute beast. He finishes people. He gets it done. We don't.
He's fun to do his UFC debut.
Yeah,
he knockout. Doing the UFC, if his debut's gonna have to come out swinging. It's gonna be.
And Phil Hall loves when people swings because that's when he gets to knock them out. So that's one of our bets. And then we have 2 dogs of the day. Okay, our first dog of the day is Chris Barnett fighting Gian Villante, yeah. Bummy boy, Gian. He's on his way out of the UFC. Chris Barnett, the Beast Boy. It's a freaking. He's the dude that be dancing. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He knocked the dude out and dance. Yeah, he's an animal. We see him probably getting the KO. Honestly, maybe a TKO or something, finishing him. Probably doesn't go the distance. Maybe Evan ? Block of the card, entire card over. So.
Right.
Then we have Al Quinta coming back. This is our dog of the day. He was plus 165 and got bet down to plus 145. So that means the sharps and people that are betting early, because usually people don't bet till Saturday if they're like some casual bettors.
Right.
Sharps will bet earlier in the week. They're already getting bet down. That lets us know that they like him. So we see him coming out and getting the dub, maybe even knocking him out. Bobby Green, he's good, but I don't know if he has the hands to keep up.
No, he has to stand up. To me, the wrestling will be like Al Quinta, Matt Serra, all them.
I hope you know what Matt Serra is.
They'll probably change to Aljo. He'll probably take it down. I can see him like this because Bobby Green loves to stand. Probably just. But even standing up, Al Quinta, all gonna.
He is.
Win 5 rounds with Khabib. Like, I think he's the only person to go 5 with Khabib. Yes.
Yeah, but Barbosa didn't last that long either, did he? He didn't last a full 5. Poirier, I think, finished in 3 or 4. So
I quit the only person that he could that alone can just make him.
That is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts. So you guys heard the picks from Trey, Andrew. Any last words before you guys get out of here? Once again, I just want to quickly say thank you so much, like, for making this happen. It was a lot of fun for me. We'll do it again because, like, I truly enjoy this, having a back and forth with you guys. I'll ask you guys against your guys' picks. Like, I'll message you or something. I think I'm going to throw a little bread on what you guys pick besides Chandler Gaethje. I feel like Chandler is going to win. Besides that, we'll talk about it. But any last words, any social media stuff?
So we don't have no money on Chandler Gaethje, so don't worry about that.
Right.
Yeah, bro, thank you for having us. We love doing this. Like I said, me and him do this every week. We'll sit here and talk and figure out who we're going to bet and all this stuff. And we're pretty profitable on that. I'm willing to go. Yeah. I'm definitely in the green in UFC. Right. And
we'll do it for UFC 269.
Yeah,
Those are available. Yeah.
I think I'll still be in North Carolina, so that would be cool. Just a little disclaimer: we're not responsible for any of the money you win or lose.
Right, of course.
So don't be hitting my DMs or anything up talking about you owe me $60 because you said no. I don't care. I don't care if you lose. I don't care if you win. These are my picks. This is what we're betting.
Your money don't make money.
Your money don't make money. Put it out there if you want it.
Heard it here first, guys. Andrew and Trey, thank you so much, Andrew. Anything you want to say, Andrew, before you get out of here? I know the camera's low.
Yeah, nice meeting you, bro.
Likewise.
Yeah, we got to do it again, bro. Great time.
Thank you, Andrew, for coming on, man. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Trey.
And let me give a shout out to Matt. That's Drew's brother. He just texted me, want to shout out real bad. So let me make his night and say shout out to you, Matt. Let's get this money, baby.
Shout out to you, man. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much, man. I truly appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Andrew. Trey, you know you're my guy. Thank you. I'll see you guys Saturday.
Yeah, bro. I'll talk to you, bro.
All right, bro. Be safe, man. All right, guys. So that was a lot of fun, I would say. We got to have these guys back on. I'm going to quickly go through chat, like all your guys' messages, and then get out of here. I just want to say thank you guys. Like, that was like the most fun podcast I've ever had, and we need to do more of that. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here.